White. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Lioness legend and England women's
sure
record goal scorer as well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So we're here today for the graduation ceremony of Pixel FC Academy. First of all, what sort of work have you been doing with them?
Well, I think for me, it's just supporting this amazing academy and hopefully encouraging more young girls and women to get involved in football and what they offer and the educational courses, and also encouraging people to be able to kind of look and see what's available and also the opportunities that are available, because as we know, for women's football and getting involved, some people need to see it to believe it, but also there is amazing opportunities out there, and this Pixel FC Academy is giving amazing opportunities to young people to be involved in women's football and support it. So I'm very proud to be here.
And how important is it to give back, to make sure that there are these opportunities for young women? Because when I knew I was going to speak to you, I was thinking about it. I left college about 8 years ago, and even back then, that's not that long ago in the grand scheme of time. And I didn't realise that there were I don't even think there was anything like this really available. It wasn't on my radar. And when I thought of apprenticeships, which I later went on to do after uni, I thought about blue collar, and that was kind of what was in my head. It was, your electricians, your builders, those were your apprentices. I had no idea that journalism apprenticeships exist, which is what I went on to do. So I went to uni instead, and I didn't waste 3 years, but sometimes I think about if I went into it sooner. So how important is it to have these sorts of schemes and make sure that there are those opportunities for girls to get involved in sports media? I
think it's so important. You always want to just shout it from the rooftops, being there is so many opportunities available, and it's making sure that they can see it, they know it's available, but like I say, shout from the rooftops that, look up these things. Pixel FC Academy, it's groundbreaking, and there is so many exciting opportunities for women to get involved in women's football. It doesn't just have to be playing. It doesn't just have to be being a presenter, being a pundit. There's so many more opportunities, but then also seeing it is believing it. And these women here today, they're role models. It's groundbreaking what they're doing, and they could be role models for the next people coming through, the next young people that want to be inspiring social media content creators and analysts, whatever they want to be in women's football. And that's what's so powerful. But I think it's just being able to know that these opportunities are available and what avenue to go down and trying something, going out your comfort zone. It is hard, but it's also exciting to learn and develop and try something new at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think it is that case of, you've got to see it to believe it. My dad is a sports photographer, and I used to be his little shadow, and he did a lot of women's football, which is actually how I first watched you play with Arsenal way back in 2011, 2012. But even thinking about it, I can't think of a single women photographer that I saw on my kind of, days out with him. And I wanted to do that when I was younger, and, for certain reasons I changed my mind. But it is that kind of thing of but there's no one that's like me that's doing that, and I can't see that, and is that a path for me?
No, definitely. And I always kind of go back to obviously 2022 winning the Euros, and it felt like we were 23 women. They're all very different backgrounds, different cultures, different upbringings, but I felt like maybe each of us resonated with someone different, and a lot of people felt empowered by that in a lot of workplaces. I think sometimes it is just seeing it and believing it and being I could do something, I could work hard, I could achieve something, I could go out my comfort zone. And I think it is just about those opportunities, but feeling empowered to be able to do those opportunities, and feeling it is a little bit scary, but it's okay, because it could be something really exciting. And women's football, it's an amazing community, it's a safe environment, and it's welcome to everyone, and hopefully a lot of people will be inspired by this amazing academy, this group as well, to go on and achieve some incredible things in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the Euros there. Obviously, big summer for women's sport coming up, not least to mention because there is another Euros. How excited are you for this one?
I'm very excited, a little bit nervous at the same time. But it's amazing. For me, I'm on the other side, but I've got some amazing memories of obviously winning the Euros at home in 2022. And these girls are so inspiring in this team now. And I feel like, you know, they could achieve something really special in Switzerland, and hopefully they can go on and retain that trophy, because it's ours and we'd like to keep it. So, yeah, I think it's a really special group, and obviously Serena Wiegmann at the helm as well.
Yeah, and you're going to be a spectator this time. How different is that going to feel? You're going to be itching to be on the pitch?
Absolutely not, no.
Left all of that.
Yeah, I've left it all.
Been there, done it.
I'm a bad watcher, though. I get very nervous, but it's amazing for me to still be involved in the game. So I feel very lucky to have had the opportunity to kind of be able to speak about the game, to help grow the game, to support the game at the same time. So I feel very lucky to kind of be on the sidelines or be on the radio or whatever it is to support and showcase this amazing sport. So hopefully it's a great summer for England.
And describe that moment to me when you lifted that trophy last time around. What did that feel like, if you can even describe it?
It's euphoria, really. There's a lot of crying, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was just kind of all our dreams had come true. We had so many close, so close to the mark, but we obviously, we won it in the end. And to be in that stadium, it was just so iconic, wasn't it? To beat Germany at Wembley in a final and win the Euros. It was just one of the best kind of days for us collectively as a group, but then also the amount of stories I've heard from people in the stadium, watching at home, being inspired. And it was just, a really emotional kind of time, but a really special time. And I'm very proud to have been a part of that group.
Yeah, it definitely really kind of propelled women's football forwards in a way that we hadn't really kind of seen before. Obviously, it's a very different team going into it this time around. There's big characters like yourself, like Jill Scott, like Rachel Daly, who have retired, and then we've obviously had the news about Mary Earps, Fran Kirby and Millie Bright as well. Yep. How big of an impact does having those big characters, either not be available or having just retired from international duty, how much of an impact does that have on like the dressing room and the team going into the tournament? Yeah,
they're obviously massive characters. They've so many caps between them. Leaders, won major tournament with England, been to World Cups. Obviously, Millie captained at the World Cup in 2023. So they're huge losses to the England team. But at the same time, you've got to look at football has to move forward as well. And these players that Serena has selected for the Euros, there's some amazing leaders. And I'm sure a lot of them will step up to the role to support the group. There's a lot of experience in that group still that were at 2022 when they won the Euros. They've won domestic trophies, they've won trophies abroad, they've been in finals. And then it's really exciting that you've got some amazing youth in there that are going to their first major tournament, which is really exciting at the same time. So they'll be thriving, they'll be excited, they'll be enthusiastic. So I think it's a really exciting balance, and I'm looking forward to kind of how they all perform and how they showcase themselves out there. Yeah, absolutely. Are there any specific players that are kind of on your radar to watch? You mentioned, obviously having that youth there that we maybe haven't seen in some tournaments before. My personal favourite, Michelle Adjumant. I'm so excited to see how she does. But who are you looking out for? Yeah, I hope she does the same as she did against Belgium in 41 seconds and scores an absolute screamer. So, Michelle Adjumant, I think she's really special, a bit of a wild card. I think not a lot of the other nations will know too much about her, which is really great for us. Yeah. Aggie Beaver-Jones has had a phenomenal season for Chelsea. Obviously, I'm just going to talk about all the forwards, aren't I? Because I'm a striker, so I really like talking about those. But, obviously, Alessia Russo's had an amazing season, and, I feel like for me, I've watched her grow and develop, and she's really come into this role as number 9. So it'd be amazing to see her shine on the big stage as well. So they're kind of 3 that I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing. And then also Hannah Hampton, obviously stepping into that role as England number 1. I've known her since she was 16 years old at Birmingham, and watch her develop and grow and obviously move clubs and thrive at Chelsea. And now, she's on the biggest stage, being England's number 1. So I'm really excited for her and hope she has a great tournament as well. And you mentioned Russo there, and obviously last tournament she was kind of coming off the bench for you. Did you take ever like kind of a mentorship role with her? What was your relationship like with her? Yeah, I basically just wanted to kind of, look after her really. I knew that I was retiring after the Euros, and even when she first came into the England squad, I wanted to kind of take her under my wing and just help, and for her to just really enjoy being a Lioness. And yeah, for me, it was just so amazing to kind of see her shine and for her to kind of step on that pitch and have no worries and no cares and just showcase her amazing talent and score some ridiculous goals like that back heel. Obviously, we all remember. So for me, it was kind of a joy to obviously for her to come into this England squad, but for her to just really enjoy it and not feel the pressure. And I feel like, you know, it's challenging being England's number 9. It's a lot of pressure. But I feel like she's got an amazing kind of support network around her. And she's taken it amazingly. She's doing so well. So, yeah, I'm really excited for her and hopefully she can score some really good goals.
Yeah. So we've looked ahead to a big summer for women's sport. And obviously, if the Lionesses do really well, that will just be another boost for women's football in this country. But we obviously also, a couple of weeks ago, saw Arsenal lift the Champions League trophy. Yeah. That's going to really propel the women's game forwards as well.
Absolutely. It was amazing to watch. You know, I've got some really close friends there. Kim Little, for instance, watching her lift that trophy, you know, she's an absolute legend of the game, isn't she? And, you know, you can't throw that word around too much, but she is a legend. And it was just so special to watch her lift it, having, you know, achieved so much she has in her career, but to have that moment where she was lifting that trophy was really special. And, yeah, to have an English club win the Champions League, obviously it's been 18 years, hasn't it? So it was just...
our very own Leanne Sanderson likes to remind us.
And it was just phenomenal. You know, I feel like maybe a lot of people wrote them off facing Barcelona, but, you know, they had that amazing comeback against Real Madrid, against Lyon, and I feel like it was kind of their year. It was very special what Rennie Slagers has done this season, but that group of players, what they did, their game plan, their tenacity, their desire to win, and I think it really inspired a lot of people back home, especially in our league, not just probably in the WSL or WSL2, but grassroots as well, to be like, I can see it, I can achieve it, it's right there. So yeah, it was really inspiring.
Do you think that's kind of a little bit synonymous with England? We've seen that they've been a little bit inconsistent recently, and kind of Arsenal were the same. But when it really mattered, they can pull it out the bag. Do you think that's kind of the England mentality as well?
It's tough when you speak about England because the opponents that we have are so competitive, they're so good, and everyone wants to beat England. So it is really challenging, and yeah, they've had a few ups and downs, a lot of injuries, a lot of changes. So I feel like, you know, going into this tournament, it's going to be really exciting. I'm sure Serena's got a few game plans and a few things up her sleeve as well, and on their day, this team can beat anyone. This England team can go on and beat the best. So that's what's going to be really exciting if all the stars align, that we can get out of this group and go on and quarterfinal, semi-final, and hopefully the final and win. So, yeah, there's a lot of luck that comes into that, but a lot of hard work and dedication. And the players have got that and an amazing kind of staff behind them as well.
Yeah. And we've seen actually some stats come out today that I wanted to share with you once we kind of had touched on the Arsenal and winning the Champions League and what that could do for English football. But Deloitte actually released today that revenue for WSL clubs is up by 34% during the 2023-2024 season, and the 12 teams in the WSL amassed a combined revenue of 65 million, and that's the first time each club has garnered more than $1 million each. I mean, that just shows the growth of the game, doesn't it? Like, that there's the appetite there, people want to buy into it, and that, you know, Arsenal winning the Champions League, England possibly winning the Euros, that could just grow the game even more next season.
Exactly, yeah. It's about exposure and doing it right, and obviously getting bums on seat, people wanting to watch, feeling supported, and it's growing that community, isn't it? And yeah, that's some amazing stats. So hopefully we can continue that growth. So yeah, I'm really excited for hopefully what women's football has got to offer. And obviously we're here today, obviously with Pixel FC Academy, and hopefully what these amazing role models can do for the future as well in growing opportunities for women in women's football. So yeah, amazing to see, and hopefully a lot more opportunities.
Absolutely, and I won't keep you from the celebrations for any longer. So thank you very much,
Thank
Ellen
you.
White. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.